This is Brigitte Narcise. I'm with the MMA and Sports Extreme show, sitting here with Ben Saunders, coming off of a hot, recent victory, really recent. And I have actually a lot of people, you're fielding a lot of fight questions tonight. I want to ask you more personal question. A lot of talk about how you worked at McDonald's when you were 14, 15 years old to pay for those early training lessons, early karate lessons. Who inspired?
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee fan, big Bruce Lee fan. I was actually more of a fan of Brandon Lee because
I was a fan of him too.
He was pretty good looking.
For other reasons.
Exactly, I'll admit it. I'll admit it. But anyway, who do you attribute that work ethic to? And I'm sure it's obvious actually that it's into your fighting. You must work as hard at training as you did trying to earn money for those early lessons. So do you attribute that to your parents or some early experience or a coach?
I honestly think it was just because I had so much passion and love for the martial arts. I mean, my mom and my dad never did martial arts. They don't really, I mean, they're getting into it, you know, obviously throughout my career. But that was pretty much on my own. I knew what I wanted to do at such a young age, whether it be fight or just own my own academy and end up teaching, and that would be my job. I just wanted something in the field of martial arts as my job, and because I knew that's what I wanted to do, I pretty much did everything I possibly could. Before I even had the money by working at McDonald's when I was like, 8 to 13 years old, was just a lot of working with my brother, working with my best friend, doing sparring and techniques on our own, reading books and magazines, and the internet was kind of new at the time, but I'm a big fan of the internet and technology. I've always been computer savvy. I am a fight nerd. I'm somewhat of a nerd in general at certain things. To the public eye, I think it's ridiculous. It's cool, man. You just don't understand. And so a JKD, I've been a Bruce Lee fan. When a JKD little setup happened in our mall where they had like tables and they had a video where they were showing Dan Inosanto doing Filipino Kali and weapons fighting, and they had a packet with Bruce Lee on the front, and it was called American Dragon Martial Arts Academy. It's actually still in Coral Springs, Florida. You should check it out. I was just like, whatever I have to do, this is my calling. It was meant to happen. I can't believe this is even here, because I can't even think of another JKD place that was in Florida at the time. So I basically had to beg my dad to let me try to find a job somewhere. I think my mom or my dad actually had to go in and talk to the manager, because when you're 14, you're not even really legal. You got to work like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, maybe 4 tops, and then they're like, no, you got to take a break. You couldn't work more than like 6 hours or something weird like that, and every like 2 hours you have to take 15 to 30-minute break. It was really annoying.
Child labor laws.
Yeah, I was just like, no, man, I want to make money. I'm here. It's a waste of time, like, to not work, yet I'm still stuck here. But I was able to, I basically every weekend, that's all I did is my weekends were to go to McDonald's and kill myself in that. It's never fun. Fast food is a very crappy industry, especially when you find out, how everything's made, and it's the last thing you want to eat.
So you knew that was not a career option.
Definitely not a career option, but you do what you got to do to make the money to, I would literally walk to and from there, and it was probably 3 to 4 miles, and then, I paid for my own JKD lessons, and it taught me in a real good fundamentals for my stand-up, and I would come literally every day. I ended up buying a Bob, a Chuck Norris body opponent bag where it's like the little guy in the face and everything.
Chuck and Bruce, you were into?
I mean, when he ripped his hair off and threw it, I was like, I mever envied him as like a fighter, because I think fight-wise. He didn't really have the credentials of like an amazing martial artist, but he had an impact nonetheless on the martial arts community, so I respect him for that big time. But I put a wife beater on him, tried to make him look like a real human being, and I would beat the crap out of it every single day, nonstop for hours, to the point where my family thought I was crazy, and their friends thought I was crazy. They would be coming in, and I'm sitting there like going nuts. I would work stick fighting on that thing and just start hitting it with weapons.
Are you crazy? You're not crazy.
No, I think
for the record,
I have a sadistic and crazy side to me, but as a martial artist, we learned how to control that. If it wasn't for martial arts, yeah, I probably would be.
It's a good outlet. Good.
Probably would be.
So do you continue the JKD training at all, and do you employ any of those techniques specifically in your fights?
The philosophies and the concepts are always within. It's a way of life for me. It's not just about the fighting. Literally, I use it inside the cage, inside the training, and outside the cage, outside the training. It's just it allows me to stay focused on what truly matters. And at the same time, man, like at a very young age, I really felt it was necessary to let the world know, especially when MMA blew up. Everyone talked about Gracies and Shamrocks, and I'm like, yo, they wouldn't have even been here. At least, maybe it would have started like now or something like that, but it would have never happened. The 70s and 80s would have never happened in the U.S. if it wasn't for Bruce Lee and his impact and everything that he brought to the table. And, you know, he was ahead of his time, and he deserves the credit. You know, I feel like Dana White has said, we have always been gung-ho together on him being the father of mixed martial arts.
Well, the exposure he gave it, I mean, in those early days, he was it. I mean, he was explosive exposure for that baby art.
He was teaching foreigners when it wasn't allowed. You weren't supposed to. There were their trade secrets and whatnot, you know. And he actually, and the fact that he made it a big impact in the USA. I think the USA, everywhere around the world watches the USA. You know, what becomes mainstream here, people think are cool elsewhere. I mean, not everywhere, but, you know, I really do think that we do have a pretty big impact on the world. And because he was able to make that happen over here, I mean, it just, martial arts in general blew up, man.
It's still blowing up. I think we're just at the beginning. Okay, well, congratulations on your win. It is really great to know that this passion and this calling in MMA started for you at a very young age. I actually envy you for knowing that so young. But congratulations again on your win, and thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
JKD Concepts, Bruce Lee. Get a book, Tao of Jeet Kune Do, if you get one.